Today we're going to learn and perfect how to make a double-ended loop link. So a double-ended link actually has a lot of versatility, so it's a great skill to learn. If you want to learn how to perfect this top loop, I have linked that video in the description. A lot of good tips and tricks on how to do that really, really well. But today we're going to focus on how to do the back side, so a second loop. This can give you a lot of options for, say, if you're making a pendant, then you could hang like a charm or something below it. If you're doing earrings, kind of the same thing. You could hang your earring and have like maybe an extra little shiny sparkly bead at the bottom. It's good links for on a bracelet. You can curve it up and put a chain through it, be a cute little feature pendant. Either way, options are endless for different things that you can do with having a secondary hole on a piece that you've wrapped. So let's get started with what we're going to need. We need our 0.6mm 22 gauge copper wire. We need our 3 tools. We need some flat nose, round nose, and a set of snips. Okay, we're going to get started with that top loop. So I'm going to put whatever beads I want onto my wire. I prefer working on the spool as opposed to not, because it helps me conserve my wire. So put your beads on down. Woohoo! Then you're going to make your top loop, how I taught in the video in the description. So I'm not going to go into too much detail in this one, but the gist of it is make sure you maintain a right angle and begin twisting, keeping those coils side by side. Okay, then we're going to slide those beads up. And we're going to do the reversal now. So probably the trickiest part is gauging the distance for this, what I call on a pendant, a neck. So these little coils here, we're gonna gauge that distance on this side, but because it's actually quite a small space, a lot of students when they're first starting out tend to make it really long, and so they'll have the one side kind of short and the other side like a bajillion coils here. So that's just one thing to be aware of. And a lot of times how I do this is I use kind of gravity, and so I'll hang it upside down so that the beads then hang down and I have to kind of look at it sideways to be able to see the gap. So the way that I essentially do the math on it is that my tool is inside this loop. So whatever space is below my tool when they're hung down is the space of the wrapping. And so you're going to look at both sides and go, is that the same or is it not? Obviously this is way too much. So you're going to want to really get in there and be aware of where you are on your tool compared to the size of the circle you made on the first time too. So since I did kind of a medium-sized circle, I don't want to be way up here because now I'm going to be like a really big circle. I mean, unless you wanted it that way because of a pendant, you could do one side really big, one side really small. If you're just putting a jump ring through here and hanging something, then obviously there's a reason to that. But I'm just going to make them the same size in this case. So it's a much smaller gap here than you think. So you're going to take your wire and you're going to bring it over top of your tool and you're just going to bring it straight down. So essentially we're getting back to that kind of the right angle. When you're working with such a tiny little space in here, it can get a little tight feeling. So just be patient with yourself, go slow. And we're going to pull it in. So you can't quite get in there with your fingertips and twist like we do when we do this side. So it's more of a kind of push and pull motion. So a lot of times I kind of brace the wire down here and I'll get into here with my index finger because I can kind of slide it up and push against my tool. So I'm tucking it tight on the tool and I'm almost gripping down here and pulling as I go around to get that first one nice and tight up against my tool. And I'm going to keep wrapping now just by mostly pulling tension on the wire away as I'm going a circle around, trying to still maintain that right angle so that my loops are staying tight up against my tool. So we're just going to keep pulling and I'm using my finger to kind of push it in this way so that it keeps staying nice and tight. As you wrap around, you're just going to be kind of filling this gap. So it'll self kind of almost tighten. You can also use the beads to kind of push on it and that'll help tighten it up if you had kind of a gap. But just go nice and slow, wrapping it around, and fill the space. So now I have that all filled up. If you wanted to decorate this more, say if it was like a square bead, you could go ahead and use your wire to decorate the front face of it. You could go around the beads if you like. There's a lot of different ways that you can continue to use the wire before you even clip it. But if you are all done, you can just simply cut it here and just make sure we get in there and tuck that little wire, because it will stick out. I mean, with the bead blocking it, you don't get too much where it's going to poke. But you do want to tuck it in anyways, just to make sure. And now sometimes as we wrap, things get a little lopsided, so I like to sometimes just kind of squish the hoops. If things are a little crooked, you can go in there and just straighten them out with your round nose or your flat nose. If they're, say, twisted offset, just fiddle with it for a minute and straighten it out. And now if you were going to make a bracelet, you could be linking these together with some jump rings. You could make a whole little link bracelet. Like I said, they could be earrings, they can be pendants, they can be whatever you like.